Good afternoon. My name is Terrell Henry. This is oral template number 13, chapter 13, section Changing Earth's Climate. And for our first section today, we have climate forcings. And for the main point of that section, there are many factors that could throw off Earth's energy balance. One thing that could throw off Earth's energy balance is simply an increase in the sun's output. So, for example, the Earth is one of the sun is one of the Earth's main resources for energy. So, therefore, if the sun started to give off more heat or more energy, or even if it started to give off less heat/energy, then this would have an effect on the Earth's energy balance. As obviously, if all of a sudden the Earth started receiving too much energy or too less energy, we're going to see some type of effect from it, whether it's a positive effect or a negative effect. And another example of that could cause Earth's energy balance to be a little off is just simply the increase in greenhouse gases. So with us using more greenhouse gases, that's going to call for more carbon to be emitted into the Earth's atmosphere, which is overall is going to which overall is going to increase the Earth's surface temperatures. I was trying to say. Sorry about that. So for my next section, I'm going to go to I'll go to climate sensitivity. And for that main point, I have climate sensitivity is the global average temperature change with the Earth. And a point I wanted to add with that was that Earth's surface temperature is increasing, like I said, whether that be because of humans, whether it be natural, which I'll get in a little bit in depth more about that a little more later in one of the sections. But overall, it's increasing, and so the climate sensitivity is obviously going to change with the Earth's temperature increasing. And for my next section, I'm going to go to feedback effects. And for that main point, I have that the changes to the Earth's energy system are the feedback effect. So the effect is what is the feedback effect. So there's three types of effects that really affect the Earth's climate and temperature. One of them being biological, the other one was chemical, and the third one was human related. So the effects of all three of those sources would be the feedback effect. So whether with humans, the increase in the use of fossil fuels, when we have more carbon emitted into the atmosphere, then the effect of that is the feedback effect. And for my next section, I'm going to go to I'm gonna go to section carbon, a closer look. And for that main point, I have carbon's emission is the leading cause of climate change. So the reason that carbon is the leading source of climate change is because there's so much emitted into the atmosphere, because carbon is emitted into the atmosphere when we burn off fossil fuels, and obviously we use a lot of fossil fuels. So that's just one of the many reasons why carbon is the number one source. We obviously need to try to change this as fast as possible, as we've seen some effects already of climate change, and there's still many more to come. Um, for Also, just reading back, looking at my template, not only but through fossil fuels, one of the leading uses is coal. Obviously, we use coal all the time. We use them in power plants, just different things that we use coal for. And that is one of the main emitters of carbon when burned. And we heavily rely on coal, we heavily rely on fossil fuels. So for us to decrease this, we're gonna have to try to look somewhere else besides fossil fuels. And got a couple pictures I want to talk about. So this first picture right here, this picture is going to go into depth a little bit about the amount of carbon emitted in, I want to say it's Hawaii, from the year, I want to say it's I'll say it's 1900s to the year sometime in the 2000s. So anyways, you can clearly see the increase that we have used in the increase of carbon emission into the atmosphere from the 1900s compared to the 2000. And like I said, one of the main reasons for that is simply because of the uses of fossil fuels, and we are a growing economy and a growing country in the uses of fossil fuels, and that is also leads to it. And then for picture number 2, I'm going to this one right here. And then if you can definitely tell already, both of these pictures completely look the same to the naked eye, but however they are very, very different. So this picture over here on this side is going to be the results of a positive feedback, while this one over here is going to be a result of a negative feedback. So you can tell the difference by you can just see, looking at the solar energy absorption right here. For a positive one, we have solar energy absorption increases, while for a negative one, we have that it decreases. So pretty much all the same processes, except the only difference is pretty much whether something's increased or decreased, pretty much. And for what I believe the main idea of chapter 13 is as a whole is Earth's climate is always changing, and it is affected by us humans. So the way that we affect Earth's climate, it is obviously has to do with global warming, and we've seen some effects of global warming, but we've not seen all of it. In a video we looked, and it says by the year 2030, a great part of Miami, Florida will be completely underwater, and it is simply because the fact of global warming. We're seeing the sea level rise. We're seeing more intense storms like hurricanes. Hurricanes in October are very common now, where back in the day they used to not be. So we are already seeing some side effects of global warming, but there are many more. There are many more possibilities that we're going to continue to see if we continue at the rate we're at. As like I said, by the year 2030, it's predicted that part of Florida be completely underwater, and by the year 2050, I believe that the entire state of Florida will be underwater. So we're going to have to make a change, and we're going to have to try to slow down global warming as soon as possible.